Drawing its power from nature itself, the Druid is a very potent spellcaster that also happens to be able to turn into wild animals. Hey fellow Game Masters, I'm Richard Quiner and welcome back to the Daily D20, your daily dose of all things tabletop role-playing games, helping you build your world and master your game. Today, continuing our series of spellcasting classes in Dungeons & Dragons, we're talking about Druids. They're kind of the hippies of the D&D world. They love animals, they love nature, and that's where they get their magic. They're pretty cool, to be honest. When building a Druid for Dungeons & Dragons, remember that your main spellcasting ability is your Wisdom. So make sure that is your highest stat and you'll be perfectly fine as a Druid. Now Druids, as I mentioned, they get all their power from nature itself. They strive to keep balance because nature is balanced. That is part of their mantra or personality. It's what they believe in strongly, and that is what they look at. Sometimes this magic power comes from deities that are based around nature, so that is also an option when playing a Druid, that you could be more of a religious Druid, or you could be more one that likes the nature and the plants. It's up to you as a player. When it comes to Druid spellcasting, they're pretty straightforward. They have their spell levels and their spell slots that are pretty limited as far as other spellcasters goes. And of course, the Druids need to prepare their spells. They can prepare spells that is equal to their Wisdom ability modifier plus their Druid level. So if it's a level 5 Druid and their Wisdom ability modifier is +4, that's 9 spells that are able to prepare. In addition to that, their prepared spells can change after a long rest. So unlike the bards and other spellcasters that have to wait until they level up to change spells, a Druid can do it every night, which makes it really useful and really versatile in a whole campaign setting because they can change their spells rather quickly compared to others. Now, where the Druid's magic really differs is in their wild shape and other magical abilities they get later on. The wild shape is the Druid's ability to turn into an animal. Now, when this happens, and at the early levels, they're only allowed to change 1 or 2 times per day. It's not a lot of wild shaping changing they're able to do, so they have to be wise with their choices. But when a Druid changes into an animal, some of their stats change. The Druid retains their intelligence, wisdom, and charisma modifier stats, which does not turn into what the animal would have, but their strength, dexterity, and constitution does turn into the animal stats. This can be really useful if a human turns into a bear. They are much stronger, much more constitution-based. That is really good for them, but they retain all the intelligence and the wisdom of that human. In addition to that, in the wild shape, they adopt the beast's hit points and armor class, so that can make them easier or more difficult to hit, or give them a huge boost on hit points that they might need in a fight. And the last cool thing about this wild shape is if you're in beast form and you get knocked down to 0 hit points, you turn back into your humanoid form, and you still have the same amount of hit points you had before you turned into the beast shape. So it basically creates a buffer. When a Druid has plenty of hit points and then they turn into something that has even more hit points, they essentially extended their lifespan in that combat situation. It's really cool, and sometimes it doesn't feel so fair, but you know what? We'll just let them have it this time. As the Druid levels up, they get other abilities that comes into play helping with their magical use. At level 18, they become able to cast spells while in beast form, which is really cool. Imagine a bear that sits there and casts Entangle or some other Druid spell on someone. That's pretty awesome. At max level, level 20, when the Druid becomes an Archdruid, they have several magic abilities and boosts that really puts them over the top in terms of power. One of those is they're now able to cast spells without a verbal or somatic component, meaning they don't have to say or make hand signs to cast the spell. And on top of that, they're able to now wild shape as many times as they want in a day. Unlimited wild shape. So imagine a Druid of level 20 in a fight can go from one wild shape. If that hits 0, they can go to another wild shape. If that hit points at 0, they can go to another one and just continuously change in wild shape and really risk not dying pretty well. When it comes to subclassing for Druids, those are called circles, and the 2 more popular ones, or the 2 original circles I will say, were the Circle of the Moon and the Circle of the Land. These are 2 very different kinds of Druids that can play very differently. The Circle of the Moon focuses on wild shape and creating a Druid that is very powerful in animal form, while the Circle of Land creates Druids that are extremely powerful spellcasters. So think about that. If you were building a Druid, would you rather be one that turns into animals all the time, Or would you rather be one that has a strong connection with the land and can cast a lot of good spells? Let me know that in the comments below. I know this has been a short video, but that basically sums up Druids. I will be doing more videos going in a deeper dive on the different classes and the different circles they have, but for now, this is all about Druid spellcasting, so I hope this has been helpful for you. If you like this video, I invite you to hit that like button and of course subscribe to the channel and hit the bell icon so you can get notified when I upload new videos every day. And of course, fellow game masters, I've been Richard Quiner. Thank you for watching.